Hey guys, and welcome to the second of my Mashin Sentai KiraMager episode commentary and reviews. That's right, I picked KiraMager as the next one for me to carry on with. So hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this for the next year. Or just come back in a year's time and binge it all. Either way, if you do enjoy it, please remember to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. It just helps the almighty algorithm. And anyway, let's get into episode 2, Leader Certification. The episode opens with Juru being shown around Coconut Tower by Mabushina, as she takes him to the headquarters of the KiraMagers, as he hides behind his notebook, as he's in awe of the others, but he's quickly told he will be the leader of the KiraMagers. As Tamatomo voices his doubt, Sina announces she has something to do and rushes off, right before an alarm sounds, and the Rangers rush out, and Mabushina offers Juru encouragement as we go to credits. The Yodon attacking is Rugby German, who has been sent by Tarantula to a theme park where he and some Bechats play rugby with the civilians, tackling anyone with the ball, before scoring and the rugby ball exploding, destroying a merry-go-round. The 4 KiraMagers arrive and Juru joins them in transforming, but Tamatomo points out Sina is missing and asks if Juru has even called her yet, before joining the fight. Juru calls her, but she tells him to get someone to fill in for her as Juru joins the fight against the Bechats. But Rugby German says using weapons is against the rules before tackling the 4 of them and scoring by another ride, destroying that as well, before going for a conversion and aiming at a Ferris wheel, as Juru has Insparkleration, telling Shigeru and Sayo to call their machines. As Jetta and Helico arrive, the Rangers enter as Juru gives them the ability to combine into Sky Mage, as they use the flying mech to save the family knocked from the wheel by the Yodon's attack. Tamatomo berates Juru for letting the Yodon get away and saying he thought Juru called Sina. Later, Juru and Tamatomo are waiting by a sports track as Sina comes over, apologising to Juru, saying her replacement was injured. But when Juru calls it a trivial matter, she argues that she won't hurt her team because of her. Juru tries to tell her they need to work as a team, but she continues to argue, saying she can't accept him as leader before rejoining her sports team. Tamatomo says they need to get Sina to fight, with her speed being key to beating the Yodon. But when he says there is only one Sina, Juru gets an idea. Back at HQ, Juru is asking about what kind of things work with his creative powers, as Muryu says he has an idea to get the diamonds they would need. He gets Mabushina to read a manga described as, "This manga will make you cry," and as Mabushina starts to tear up, it rains diamonds from her eyes, as Juru reveals his drawing of 2 Sinas. To demonstrate, he gets Shigeru to hold the doll, and it turns into a duplicate of him, as Muryu calls the doll Gemini. Later, Sina uses the doll, though she seems sceptical. Elsewhere, Rugby German is attacking near a power plant, as the KiraMagers fight the Bechats, but the Yodon scores a try, destroying some equipment, as Sina arrives with Juru and the 2 transform. Rugby German charges with another rugby ball, dodging each of the Rangers, but Sina gives chase, keeping pace with the Yodon, as another Sina appears, being past the Kiramage changer by the first Sina, and transforming, she catches Rugby German, and leaping up she attacks him with his own rugby ball. As Juru and Sina celebrate, Tamatomo comes up to berate Sina for sending her double into fights with them so she could race. But Juru says she had to shine at her best, explaining he couldn't stop drawing, so she shouldn't stop racing. As Sayo comes over to tell Sina she was dazzling when she arrived, as Sina says it was thanks to Juru letting her run the race. As Sayo and Shigeru both say they have to go and rush off, in Jotunheim, Rugby German has gathered enough energy for a mask beast, Rugger Legani, to be summoned. As the skies turn dark, the green, red and yellow machines leave the base and join with their KiraMagers as the 3 machines combine to form Land Mage. Kicking the mask beast ball away, Land Mage is tackled by the mask beast, but Juru sends a fire attack from Land Mage's face before throwing the beast aside and launching Land Round Smash attack on the beast, destroying it as the skies clear and the episode ends. Okay, so I'll be honest, it was fun. It was a fun episode. I like it. The fact that like each of these Rangers is supposed to be an expert or professional at what they do. So, you know, Cena's supposed to be an amazing athlete. Shigeru is a world famous actor, or Japan famous actor, who knows how famous he's supposed to be. Sayo is supposed to be an amazing surgeon or medic or something along those lines. Uh, who else was there? Pink, green, blue. Red is obviously the artist, but he's the one with the Kira mentality. And of course, yellow is a professional gamer. I'll leave him to last because that was the joke in the first episode. So, hey, I know you, I know you, I know you. Why are you here? He's like, I'm famous. He's like, yeah, mate, you play games. I've done that myself. You know, that's what I was doing for a couple of years before I was even on this. But what they've done here is they take the focus of the episode and they put it on the green KiraMager, which it may seem a little strange, this series, because we've got, and it's the first time it's happened in a while, I think, but we've got a fully formed team, with the exception of the Red Ranger, before the season's even started. Last year, obviously, it was Ryu Soldier. Well, I said last year. The season before this was obviously Ryu Soldier, where, what was it? They were given their powers in the very first episode. Obviously, they've been training, I'd assume. But, yeah, they get given their powers, like, in that episode. Before Ryu Soldier, you had Lupin Ranger versus Passer Ranger, which I suppose both groups are already established at the start of that. Although that was a different season, because, you know, you had the two teams. And before that, you had KiraMager, which, what was it? Red and Blue join up in the first episode. And I think there's only a couple of others that are actually already part of it, with the rest then joining throughout the season. Zyuohger, the team pretty much comes together in the first one. Ninja, I think they basically come together in the first one. Tokuja, they definitely come together in the first one. Well, four of them kind of have a clue, and Red just sort of joins in when he falls asleep on the nightmare train. And of course, Kyoryuger was... So yeah, they do tend to do this quite a bit, but I don't know if it's to this extent. So it's easy to think when I actually go through the whole lot, and I'm like, oh, actually, maybe I'm just talking rubbish here. But, hey, you've come to listen to me, so I gotta talk. As you can see, I've got my KiraMager changer on. It's very tight. It only just fits. I may have to do to it what I've done with my Ryu Soul changer, which is actually replace the plastic bit with a couple of leather straps. Because, yeah, they do not make these for the adult collectors. Unless, of course, the Japanese just have smaller wrists than us fat Westerners. But, yeah, gotta love it. KiraMager changer! Lights and sounds, gotta love it. If I remember, I'm going to wear this for each of these reviews, because I just want to have like that little bit there. You know, a bit of fun. Yeah, so, as I'm saying, you know, we've got the fully formed team, but everyone... The strange part of this one, as I was going to get into earlier when I said about the team being formed, is everyone has other priorities. So, in this case, Cena is more interested in helping her sports team than actually being on the KiraMager team. And even through the review, I'm going to refer to them as Rangers because I know it's not Power Rangers, Sentai Squadron, and they're literally called KiraMagers. There's no Ranger in it. Well, there's Enkaiger, Don Brothers, King Oja. There is, well, Gojuja sort of has the J from Ranger, but yeah, we don't really get Ranger anymore. Yeah, it's... They just have so many priorities elsewhere. So, yeah, and I love the fact that Mabashina just cries diamonds. It's like, you don't even have to worry about how they're funding this giant building and everything else, because it's just like, Mabashina, you're an orphan, you're an orphan, you're all... Diamonds, thank you, I'm going to go pay the rent for the next 10 years. Apologies to anyone out there affected by that. It's just a joke, but you get my point. And yeah, even these diamonds will work with Ju's Kira mentality. So, like, you know, possibly he can create as many weapons and tools and gadgets as he wants. As proven in this case, where he creates Gemini, which is a brilliant way to maintain secret identities, which I'm assuming they have, because, you know, they're famous for other stuff. Although it's strange that Gemini can even transform with the others, because the Gemini Cena is able to join in, do the whole transformation, be there for the fight. But I'm guessing she's not as fast as the original, or doesn't have all the skill. Because it's kind of weird. She's supposed to be the exact double, because that's the whole point of it. But then she couldn't keep up with the Yodon. But then the real Cena comes in and runs straight past her. So the Gemini has to, like, power down, grab this, chuck it to her. She then transforms and takes him out. Why couldn't the Gemini one have done that? Because they're supposed to be identical. They're twins. So why is she slower? That's the only little niggle. Although, like I put in my notes, I don't even know if the KiraMagers are even worried about, like, secret identity, because no one really sort of says anything about it. But I guess at the same time, it's not like, you know, doing interviews or anything either. Juru, at the moment, yes, he has the Kira mentality, but he really does feel like such a pushover at the moment. You know, he's only leading because they're pushing him to lead, and then they complain about it straight away. They're like, oh, right, why'd you let her go and do her race? Why did we have to fight with the double? You know, it seems to be his choice to let her race, because that's what makes her sparkle. And we all got to do what makes us sparkle. We get the introduction of Sky Mage in this one, which I have here. You know, I like this. You know, it starts off, if I just bring it like this, you know, it starts off, obviously, pink block. And blue is just blue block. And they're able to... Just pulled the rotors off. But they're able to work together in a single form. Just ripped his head off. How do I put this back together? No, wrong way. Oh, I've ripped his head off. Whoops. But yeah, as I was trying to say, with these, how the hell am I supposed to put this back together? I don't have a clue what I'm doing here. Either way, this thing, it goes together, and yeah, it makes... Imagine these are still on top. I'm going to have to fix this later. But it's a mini mecha, which obviously is used straight away. And then later on, because these two conveniently have to go off and do a medical thing and go off and do an acting thing, you've got the other three left. And we get Land Mage, which is obviously yellow, green, and red. Fire Red, Shovelo, and whatever the green one was called. I completely missed. I haven't got my notes what it is. And I like that. It's an extra level of play, because you can have them separated, or you could combine them into the full 5. The only thing is, if I reach over and get Gojuja is an average size mecha. It's pretty much the same size as Boom Boomja, King Oja, Tokuja, Kureno, and most of the other normal-sized mecha. But then you put this next to it, and I can barely see myself. He is so short. He is so short. The only mecha that is close to KiraMager's size, or Land Mage in this case, he doesn't get any taller when you add the other two on, is the 123 from Duoja. And I couldn't believe when I got this. I mean, it came in the package, so I got the box. I'm like, yes, I'm pretty sure I did a review on it. And I couldn't believe how small it was. So they really seemed to shrink it down. And then, of course, you had Zenkaiju the following year, which were, I think, again, about that size. And so you get the big one with all 5 of them together, which is bloody massive. And then the year after that, you had Don Brothers, which was straight away, like, massive. So, yeah, it's so weird that this one is so small. However, episode 2, and we get 2 mecha introduced, which I think is brilliant. And like I say, for the kids that would have been getting it as presents from their parents or whatever, brilliant extra level of play. Love it. It's also just a little bit more of a build, because I can't remember if it's next episode or the episode after where we actually get KiraMager properly. But it goes back to some of the earlier seasons, like Zyuranger, Dairanger, where you have to wait. I think Zyuranger's like 6 episodes before you got Daijujin. I remember Gingaman was like 6 or 7 episodes before you got the main mecha. So, yeah, I love the build-ups that you used to get. So, this is probably the closest you got. We got, okay, 2 minis. We're going to make a bigger one, but for the time being, it's 2 small ones. That's what we got. That's what we're going to have. And that's what it became. And I've just fixed it. I just saw I had it the wrong way around. So, yeah. Whee! Sky Mage flies in to save the day. That and Land Mage. We haven't even got KiraMager yet. But that may be next week. So until then, KiraMager!